which begins right here. As we kick things off to the bottom right hand side of Frozen Temple. So we just left this map between Snute and Drogo. We go right back into it now. It is the bottom right hand side, our blue Zerg player from Team Liquid. Let's hear it, guys. If you're cheering on Snute. To the upper left. Our red Protoss player from ENCE Esports has had a really fantastic run so far. After losing 2-3 to Marine Lord, he 3-0'd, I believe. I have to look at it again. I completely forgot who he played first. TLO, then Hero Marine. He took down Nurture 3 games to 2, and he 3-0'd Bly just earlier, which we saw here on the stream. It's Welmu to the top left, and I really think this could be a pretty fantastic ZvP, because honestly, Welmu is playing so well lately, as is Snute, of course. This could go any which way. I really believe this. I actually think it's going to be probably... I'm really looking forward to this. I just really am. Like, I don't know what else to say. I just think this is going to be a really good series based on how these players have been playing throughout this qualifier so far. So let's see how it's going to go. What was the music during the break? I believe it was The Owls by Yotto. Banger. The other day, last weekend? Yeah, like a week ago, like last weekend I went to Leeds for the night because I had nothing to cast on Friday night and nothing to cast on Saturday. So I went to Leeds for the night out, which is like it's like an hour and a half drive. I went to university there, so I have a lot of friends there, you know. So I went for a night out, and it's the first time in a long time I've listened to Radio 1 here in the UK on a Friday night. And I forgot, I used to always love listening to Radio 1 on a Friday night because there's like really good like dance music on. And so I got so many good dance tunes, and that was played actually twice because I also heard it on the way back on Saturday on the radio as well. So I forgot how much I loved it. I used to listen to it like religiously when I was younger, to Radio 1 on a Friday night. It's actually really good, surprisingly. I always surprise myself with it. But anyways, we are just going to be kicking off here into this best of 5, of course, with an adept-based opening. You guys don't need to listen to my stories because we've got StarCraft to talk about instead. So we are going to be seeing the Twilight Council on the way. So pretty much the same build as what Petit Drogo just did. The Resonating Glaives-based opening here is not really a surprise to kick us off on this map. It's probably the map which you're more likely than any other map to see a Resonating Glaive opening on, just because of the short rush distance gives the Adepts a nice quick time to head across the map with. As we're going to see the Adept coming in, just going to be cancelling there as we see the third hatchery coming down from Snute. He's got Ling Speed coming up. He's actually going to go Evo Chamber, so he is droning, so he's just going to go for the single Overlord drop up here, rather than, you know, kind of a mass Ling Flood or anything like that. We saw something like that from TLO yesterday, but yeah, it's just going to be kind of this little bit of a Ling drop to start us off, but Adept, Mothership Core, and a panel on the way up to this right hand side is going to try and deny this from doing too much, honestly. I mean, 2 Adepts in position, I think Snoot's going to see that, so he'll probably just back away from this, make that Overlord to drop a little bit later on instead, and just, for now, leave them Lings to kind of run towards the front and just have a little bit of a look to see what he can get up to, trying to attack the Cybernetics Core, the Gateway or something. I'm just going to be seeing them as Zerglings continue to mass up over here, so Lings continue to collect together. I'm going to see that Bane Nest is on the way from Snute as well. I'm just going to be seeing the +1 melee upgrade just over halfway done from Snute as well. So it's going to be a melee-based Ling Bane kind of opening from Snute. Very different to what we've seen him playing so far today against Petit Drogo. So again, just changing up his playstyles. Now he's actually going to go for a lot more Lings, so he might go for maybe somewhat of an aggressive kind of Ling Bane bust here in the very near future. It could be moving towards that sort of direction now. If he goes up the left-hand side, more Spain's over here, so they're already near the third. Could just be that he's preparing already for the kind of, Resonating Glaives attack. But Welmu's actually just sat back here. He's not actually moving across the map despite Resonating Glaives being finished. He's not attacking just yet, so Snute. Well, we'll see when he goes back into drones. I wonder if he wants to just completely crush, similar to what he just did against Drogo with the Roaches, where he completely crushes the Adept attack initially, and then just, has the goal to kind of counter-attack. So that could be one of his goals. Yes, he's actually going to start moving up the left-hand side. No Banelin's morphed in yet, but here come those Adepts. So how well prepared is Snute for this? Because now he's completely out of position. So actually, Welmu's going to come in here. He's actually going to end up doing quite a bit of damage. Snute has to immediately pull these Zerglings back to try and help out against this. We're going to see drones as well. Quite a lot of them going to start going down in the natural expansion. Already 6 workers killed, and that's going to be a dead queen as well. As you see them Zerglings coming in, they're going to start getting a little bit of a surround on a few of them. And a lot of them get into a good position behind the mineral line as well, though. Maybe Snute begins to pull away. Welmu will commit into the main base as well now. You'll see still only 6 workers lost. Lings will surround once more, still making another set of Lings, but now also droning up as well. He's actually 20 workers down, just because he's been making so much Ling Bane. So let's hope that he can do something with it, because if he doesn't do something with this Ling Bane right now, he's really put himself very far behind in economy, because he really has overmade Zerglings to deal with those adepts. I was just going to be seeing the Lings backing off a little bit there. Force field potentially able to protect the pylon, so going to go around the right hand side. He's not doing damage with this. He's definitely very far behind the worker count. This is so many Lings, and I mean, he's still 10 workers behind. I mean, he's going to catch up eventually, yes, but we've been behind for some time, and again, without really gaining anything for it. As we see them Zerglings, I'm going to move forwards here and just going to be trying to, well, do something. They're going to pick up the pylon at the front. I haven't seen a Baneling morphed in yet in this game still, and that's kind of interesting too. So we see a couple of probes over here going to get picked off, so that's something for Snute, but still not enough. As we're just going to be seeing the Lings backing away down the left-hand side. So Lings backing away down the left. And then a couple of probes have been picked away at here as we see that blink upgrade coming in the back of the main base. So blink upgrade coming in the back of the main. We're going to see that +1 upgrade here from Welmu continuing to spin away. So +1 continuing to come up for him, just setting up into that. And when we saw Snute, he got +1 melee earlier. Now he's going into that +1 missile attack. So continue just set up into this a couple of different upgrades. He, he played this earlier as well with the kind of Ling Hydra sort of style where or Bane Hydra sort of style where he went kind of 1-1 with kind of melee and missiles at the same time. I wonder if he has the same idea here to actually play a Bane Hydra, or whether he's just sort of decided to change out of kind of Ling-based style of melee upgrades and just continue to commit into +2 missiles very soon, and so on and so on. And as we see, the Ling is just pulling over to the left-hand side a little bit. We'll see Snute Phoenix in towards the main base. Lair in the main, going to be finishing up in a moment or two as well. So Lair finishes up in the main, Ling is up the left hand side again, just having a little bit of a look to see what exactly they might be able to get up to here over the next few moments, as we see more Lings still collecting over to the left hand side as well. That robot facility continuing to come up here with the warp prism, and +2 attack is also continuing to start. So I mean, we see kind of out of Welmu this kind of blink upgrade coming in, so he's actually changed into kind of a blink stalker playstyle where he's going to be able to kind of counteract kind of a Baneling based attack very easily. Snute has started going to roaches, but he doesn't have many of them yet, only 4 Ravagers up. He's actually kept a lot of his Zerglings as Zerglings, morphing in Banes as well. And we'll try and push this back a little bit now, I imagine, as we see Lings running forwards, a few corrosive bars coming down, actually going to crash onto, a lot of them sentries taking quite a bit of damage. There's a lot of energy here on these sentries, ready for force fields and Snute. Going to try and defend against this. We're going to see actually again these sentries taking a lot of damage at the back. Some more force fields being popped by the corrosive vials. He's still able to win this fight as we see the Ravagers continue to come in. More Lings are in the production tab, and he's going to pull drones into this as well. He took a supply lead for a few moments, but well, he's actually got a lot of drones in this. He's lost 7 of them, but all the sentries go down. The soldiers will be pushed back. Snute will hold on against this, and only losing 13 workers considering the situation is honestly not so bad, as we see this warp prism getting very low. It doesn't quite go down. The Queens were trying to target it down. Lifts up 4 stalkers at the end. Snute pushes this back completely, and well, we'll have to remake a few drones, but that's going to be about it. This turned out pretty well for Snute. This went a lot better for him than I thought it would, and well, Welmu's pushed all the way back home. He's lost all of his sentries. He's only got stalkers left over. And the fact that Snute is going into kind of a roach-based follow-up means that against just pure stalker, he's actually going to be set up fairly nicely, as we see probes being pulled off of the mineral line and the natural, actually maybe transferred between bases here, and that's going to be Snute catching a lot of those. He's going to sneak into the main base as well. Stalkers will blink to the high ground to try and defend. But already Snute on this counterattack has picked off 8 workers, and now he's going in towards the 3rd/4th to do more damage as well. Snute is definitely repaying Welmu, getting some revenge for those workers he just had to pull to defend. So Welmu taking a lot of damage there. Snute actually committed into the +2 melee attack. That's going to finish up now as well, so continuing to play Ling heavy here in this game. As we're going to be seeing the Ravagers, a few of them pulling back towards this bottom right hand side. A few more of them Ravagers finishing morphing in just then. As we do see this kind of Stalker Adept force coming down the left. So a little bit of Stalker Adept down the left hand side, and of course we're seeing if they can get much damage done in towards this 4th base here in the next few moments. We're just going to be seeing a not even sure what that was, maybe a change or something. Really not certain at all. Just going to see the Ling Ravager coming in to try and defend this. He's actually going to morph in Banelings here, so we didn't see any Banelings previously. We're going to get some now. I'm not sure. I personally don't really see how well the Banelings affect kind of stalker counts, but well, Ravager's coming forward here, going to pop a battle onto that force field as well, which is blocking them off a little bit here. And well, there come the Banelings. We'll see a couple of forces coming down, but it's not enough. And Now those few Banes and will connect on the Adepts and Sentries. Picks that off pretty easily. As you see the Ravagers collecting together as well towards this 4th base. Banelings and a few more Zerglings continue to come in. We see a second Robo started back at home from Welmu, plus 3 attack is also on the way. Snute doesn't have a Hydrogen though, so it's not really as though any sort of lurker-based transition is coming up. So actually, I mean, the Immortals and Stalker Force is going to be pretty effective as Snute just continues to play sort of Ravager, Ling, Bane. A very sort of weird composition, one you don't see all too often, but, well, for now it is working out for Snute, so it's working out for him so far. Let's see how it continues. We see a few Adepts to the right-hand side here going to start moving and towards that natural expansion, a few Lings. Just looking to try and jump on top of those there. And we're just going to be seeing the Queens being added on by Snute as well. So Queens being added on by Snute, we're going to see a few Adepts and Warp Prism getting ready to move forwards and just looking to see what they can get up to. As we're going to be seeing the Warp Prism just pulling back. Let's see another hatchery coming down towards the bottom left-hand side. So another hatch coming down towards the bottom left-hand side. And again, that Warp Prism from Welmu is just going to be looking to see if he can find an angle here in the near future to try and get some damage done, because he definitely seems to be on the back foot a little bit now in this game after those last couple of fights. And how many times today have we seen Snute kind of, well, looking to be in a kind of a bad position against a Protoss and then just takes fights which completely turn that sort of statement around. I think it happened in both games 1 and 2 against Drogo. Game 3 maybe not so much, but games 1 and 2 is definitely you know, not in the best of spots and completely just turned it around with the larger fights. As you see this Warp Prism coming in, a few Adepts will begin to unload just behind this mineral line. We see Zerglings coming forwards and a few more Adepts warping in once again as well. Lings and Ravagers very quick here to drop some barrels and try and push this back, and well, that's not the damage which Welmu needed, obviously, getting those Adepts picked away at. Does manage to keep the Warp Prism alive, so doesn't lose that just yet, which is something for him at least. Snute with this Ling Bane Ravager up the left hand side. We see Welmu trying to take a 5th base here. Well, I think we can tell that that's not going to happen. He does have his 4th base set up and saturated, which is nice. Snute's having a 5th base on the left. Whoa, we see him just running Balins in towards the center of this army. That wasn't the most efficient of starts to this engagement from Snute, losing a lot of those on kind of Archons with a lot of health, and the Mortals as well with barriers up. So then Bane's initially not doing too much here, but is the Ling Ravager still just going to be enough to kind of push on through? A couple of Archons in the front already going down, and Snute's just continue to push forwards. A couple of Cross Clouds will have to be used to use those to kind of clear those front overcharges which have come up here. As we see Welmu fine okay against it so far. Blinks forwards though, and actually is greeted by a huge chunk of Banelings. Is actually still going to win this fight quite convincingly. I think multiple times, well, in the very start, just that many Banelings going off on not really enough kind of turned this away and just wasn't very effective for Snute, and so Welmu actually turns this around himself now, and Snute is going to fall so far behind in supply. I think that's the thing. Snute was kind of looking good in supply, but you got to remember he was only on kind of a Ling Ravager sort of army with the Banelings as well against an army which is actually pretty well set up to kind of deal with Ling Ravager and Banelings. You know, there is no lurkers in this army. There's no real late game in this army. And I think that's why Snute's really started to run into issue here. These Banelings do crash in though, take off a lot of the Immortals, 3 of them remaining, 2 of them on very low health. Stalkers remaining as well. Does Snute have enough to kind of deal with another wave? Well, not with another wave, but deal with this continued push forward. Does he have another wave of units here to make something happen? As we're going to be seeing a future starting to go down, a few Banelings continuing to morph in. Continue set up, ready to go. We're going to see a few Stalkers just blinking down this left hand side as well. And a few Broodlings are going to push the Immortals back. And we're going to be seeing a few Banes continue to morph in as well. I mean, we see Snute losing the 4th base. Just keep this base to the left-hand side alive still. We're going to see the drones. They do want to move over there. As we see the Ling Bane again is just going to start moving up this left-hand side of the map. They're going to start coming in around this kind of Stalker Immortal force. He's not going to commit just yet. Snute definitely, I think, realizing he's in a bit of trouble. He did make some mutas. He went for a muta transition kind of a while ago. He only made 2 initially. We were following him kind of up the right-hand side. But they, you know, he didn't make much more than that. He's only on 5 right here, and well, they're not going to do very much as well. He continues to push down towards this bottom left-hand corner, and that base is going to go down, and so Snute is going to be limited to just 3 bases in this game. I think Snute realizes this game is more than over. Welmu is going to take game number 1 of this best of 1 big fight. I agree, I don't think Snute was behind, and I don't think I ever really said he was behind in that game, so maybe I did, maybe I lied, maybe I disagreed with myself. Anyways, let's go into this second game as we have in the top left-hand side of Frost. Our blue Zerg player from Team Liquid, it is going to be Snute. And down to the bottom left-hand side is going to be our red pros player from ENCE Esports. Let's hear it, guys. If you're cheering on, Welmu. Again, what's up in the chat, guys? How are we all feeling today? Welcome to the WCS European Challenger League. Day number 2. Today we find out who goes to DreamHack Montreal to play in the WCS Summer Championship alongside Showtime. And this is going to be one of 3 players, sort of, who waits for the winner of this series. Welmu, who is 1-0 up in this series, or Snute, who is of course 1-0 down in this series. So, still one more best of 5 to come after this best of 5 right here. It's been a pretty good start. I actually really loved game number 1, and again, I said right at the get-go that we're expecting a good series between these guys. Both Snute and Welmu 3-0 in their previous opponents, which were kind of Protoss/Zerg players. You know, they were PvZ matchups, so these 2 players have been playing very well so far in this event, and it'll be interesting to see how it continues as we have the Nexus going to be coming down here in a moment or 2 from Welmu. No Nexus first or anything like that, just a very standard gate expand from him against the hatch gas pool of Snute here on Frost. Vertical spawns are obviously a lot different to the spawning locations we saw the last time we saw Frost between Snute and Drogo. These ones generally a little bit better for the Protoss player, a little bit easier to push on and knock beasts around. You know, you don't have to push into this sort of central area as much with so much, you know, kind of potential for kind of run-bys and surrounds and so on and flanks. You can push up the left-hand side if you want to. Snute will probably be forced into this third base here rather than expanding towards his opponent. And that does mean that there's going to be a bit of a ledge which can be abused by Warp Prism play as well, potentially, in the future. A couple of queens starting up from Snute, so a couple of queens starting up. We're going to see Link Speed has started as well. So that Link Speed on the way as we have. Well, the Natural Nexus is going to be finishing up very shortly. I'm just going to be seeing an In-Depth popping out as well, of course. I mean, again, no real sort of surprises here on Frost. It's kind of interesting, I mean, especially in this sort of positions, we can actually begin to see sort of this base start to be taking, you know, extra bases, and, you know, we generally see the 4 base won't be so hard to take, but the 5 base on Frost is actually a little bit more difficult to get up towards. In this situation, I think the 5 base is more easy to take than usual, because you're kind of going to be so focused on the left-hand side of the map, because that's where both players have spawned. But the 5th base actually has more chances to come up, but of course it is going to be based on, you know, maybe it'll be based a little bit on sort of, you know, we'll see how each player keeps up with run-bys and stuff like that. So, so yeah. Is there a huge delay? There is indeed a 3-minute delay. And Krugerson going to hit us up for the 7-month resub as we see this Adept running in. Can we get a little bit of SCTI heart in the chat, action in the chat, please, for Krugerson? Thank you very much, buddy. For the 7-month resub, it's a lot of support, buddy. That's 7 months. What is 7 months? Maybe like from, I think 7 months is back like Christmassy sort of time when, well, yeah, it's like Christmas time, so supporting from right when we really started streaming full time and every single day, so I appreciate that, buddy. Very, very much. Let's see those hearts in the chat, please. As we do get back on track here into the game, though, as we see Snute with the Zergling has actually been able to scout this Stargate, which is coming up to the bottommost corner of the base, so we are going to be seeing the Oracle just coming out here in a moment or 2. We've seen that Oracle just popping out and actually pops the Pulsar Beam already to come in and defend this pylon on the 3rd base. So just Stargate Oracle play initially here from Welmu with these couple of Adepts still just moving around, harassing a little bit. Actually going to pull against these, pull draws against these Adepts because Snute doesn't have anything over here. So that's actually going to be some good damage. 4 workers killed. They get around, that's now 5 workers killed though. And this one last Adept should be able to shade away and stay alive. He's not paying attention to it though, it seems. As we're just going to be seeing the Adept going down. Zergling here again picked off as well, but again, Snute's picked up some good information early. We see a second Oracle coming out as well, so actually a very similar build from, well, pretty much the same build as what we saw Drogo doing on this map against Snute. So we'll see how Welmu is going to continue to approach this as time goes by. Let's see how he's going to be able to utilize these couple of Oracles in the very near future. As we see some Lings running on in, we see a probe already dropping there. You'll see an Oracle coming back in. Both the Oracles come back home actually to defend the Zerglings. That's one thing Oracles are very good at, trading against the Zerglings. So and kill them off very quickly and so on. As we're just going to be seeing the Lings picking off. Another couple of probes there as we see Lings again just backing away. So Lings back away once more. We see a lair continue to come up here from Snute. It's coming up to about halfway done in the very near future. We're going to see an evolution chamber popping down for Snute as well. It's going to be a Roach Warren also. So going into maybe this kind of Roach-based play initially. And probably a Hydrogen, I imagine, once more. I mean, he seems to keep adding this Roach Warren for kind of safety's sake before going into Hydrodens as well anyways, so we'll see exactly what it's going to be when that lair finishes. We'll see if it is going to be a Hydroden or if it's going to be a commitment to just kind of Roach Ravager playstyle. As we do see the couple of Oracles just coming up towards the top side of the map. We see a 4th hatchery being taken by Snute as well. I'm getting there. About to finish up here. The robot facility just over halfway done. There's that blink upgrade off the Twilight. I mean, that's not really much of a surprise. Again, it's one of these situations where we see blink a lot more than anything else nowadays, actually, off of the Twilight. I mean, charge was very popular for a long, long time. But blink has definitely become kind of, you know, has risen up in the popularity lately in the Protoss versus Zerg. So we're going to see that on the way now. That blink just coming up to being about quarter way done. 3 extra gateways on the way down from Welmu, 4 extra gates. So just setting up onto what, well, he's only on 3 warp gates already, so I mean, he's just setting up into 3 base production. With a warp prism on the way, we'll see if he wants to actually get aggressive and just sort of, again, very similar to what Drogo was doing, maybe with this sort of blink stalker sentry push in the very near future. Another few sentries warping in. It looks very similar to Drogo's build, so we'll continue to see if it's something Snute can hold off once again. He has got the Infester on the way this time, so again, very different playstyle from Snute, so time after time playing different compositions. This time it's going to be kind of Roach Ravager Infester to try and hold this off. I like that. I mean, the Infestors to lock down those Blink Stalkers, get some barrels off as well, of course. I think this could go quite well as we see the first Revelation. Going to drop on just a couple of Queens. Most importantly, drops on these rocks. Going to be able to get some really great scout information here. Actually, to be fair, I'm being a little bit sarcastic, a little bit facetious, but the rocks being Revelated is kind of nice because you actually do get some vision now, Welmu will, of kind of units that are coming down that sort of position. A little bit to some extent, so it's not dreadful. Maybe it is dreadful because actually I guess the Revelation goes on the center or something. Anyways, hold that fort. Doesn't really matter because Snute right now is actually looking to give up his 4th base. He hasn't taken down these rocks, and so force fields will be able to just keep him pinned in towards his 3 base for now. So Snute not going to try and contest this. 4th base for him will go down. So good attack so far by Welmu, as we do see the 4th base of Snute being set up over here. We see a few stalkers. The sentry's still around. Will he continue to attack forwards, or will he be content with having already picked off the 4th base? As soon as Ravager's ready to go, he's got them 3 Infestors in the back of this army as well, ready to join up and help out against this. We're just going to be seeing another couple of Crypt Tumors being taken down. Sassabot being popped by just 1 Zergling hero there, which is nice from Snute, of course, setting those, getting rid of those before we see them really kind of having too much of an effect on the game. Again, I'm kind of amazed at kind of the similarity between this and the match between Snute and Drogo, as we see Biles are going to drop very effectively onto those sentries. Every single sentry in that center clump goes down, because there's a pretty nice fungal to start things off. As we're going to be seeing Queens continue to push forwards here again, the stats support being set off by only a single Zergling. As we'll see Snute very easily actually able to push this away. His army pretty scary, and so he will just re-establish his 4th base, and well, we can't do too much for now. Should still just be happy though that he was able to take the 4th base down. But he did lose all of his sentries, so that's something that does become a bit of an issue for him. And now he's just playing kind of a pure Blink Stalker kind of composition 9 minutes in this game, so he has to be a bit careful about that. He's starting to add on those Immortals. Snute, does he push onto the map? Does he take a fight here in the near future to kind of punish the fact that, for now, it is only Stalkers? We see the Ravagers. They're going to join up towards the bottom side with these few Zerglings as well. We're just going to be seeing a couple of Lings getting picked away at. Oracles from Welmu just going to be, again, having a little bit of a look around as we see Snute. Whoa! 8 swarm hosts on the way. So I guess this might be kind of a positional sort of thing in the sense that he's starting up these 8 swarm hosts as a way, or 10 swarm hosts. He's really committed to these. This is not just an accidental 10 swarm hosts. You know, this is like 10 swarm hosts which, as the kind of locusts come out, will very quickly hit this 4th base. So it might just be a positional sort of thing from Snute. As a decision to commit into these, so very intriguing to see how this plays out. I mean, Snute has been playing some Swarm Host playstyles recently, now and then, not something he uses super often, but it is something he's been playing around with, and he has seen a mixture of success with as well, so we'll see how it works out now. Them Swarm Hosts about to pop, and I imagine he just has to kind of target the 4th base with the kind of close by air positions, 4th base to 4th base, coming in here. Be very interested to see how this turns out. The Oracles actually spot the Swarm Host getting ready to go, and this first set of Locusts starting to come in. I actually think Welmu might just immediately begin to counterattack, just saying, well, you know what, if you're going Locusts, you are not going to have very much to defend here, and so, you know, this is kind of 10 Swarm Hosts, which are now not going to be useful at all, but the Ravager Infestor composition is very good at buying time, and immediately, you know, Corrosive Bars are going to start pushing this back. Nice force fields coming down there, though, trapping a few Ravagers in. We'll see a DT at the front, doing some good damage. As Snute struggling to deal with this so far. We see another couple of Infestors. They don't have energy for Fungals just yet, it would seem. More Corrosive Bars coming in, though, and Welmu failing to kind of back away from that. We're again very close to this point where Snute is ready to go with the Locusts again. Those Locusts definitely could make the difference. These DTs continue to pick away at so much, though, doing so much damage as we see a couple of overseers coming in. Finally, Snute going to be able to fight against it. There's them Locusts, and so we'll see now. Well, Welmu pretty much has to back away, but Fungal Growth going to keep him in position as the Locusts land, and these Locusts do a lot of DPS, and so they'll pick off a lot of these units. Stalkers are disappearing left, right, and center, Immortals too. And oh my god, Snute takes one heck of a fight here after losing his 4th base once again. The Swarm Hosts actually do a lot of damage in the end. The Locusts coming on down that army, the Fungal Growth to keep the units in position so they can't just back away from the Locusts, forcing the fight out of Welmu, and Snute takes a dramatic 40 army supply lead. Can he make something happen with that? Awkward thing is, he still has to wait for the Locusts to come off cooldown before he can really fight again, but he's going to launch them up in the air. He's going to send them towards that 4th base once more here, as we're going to be seeing those Locusts very shortly just going to be dropping down onto that 4th expansion. 5 more Swarm Hosts on the way up. He's continued to commit to the Swarm Host plays, so I mean, Snute, he's continuing to go with this. He's going to keep on going for it. We're going to see him dropping on down. What's he going to commit on pylons initially? It's 4 overcharges for Welmu to try and defend this. I mean, you may think, well, 4 overcharges is a lot to defend one wave of Locust, but you've got to remember that he's, with 4 overcharges, he'll completely defend this. And it's going to be a while until all of them Locusts are ready to go again. Now, there's a few Locusts. What Snute is doing is he's basically saying, I'm going to use half my Swarm Hosts at a time. So he actually is got enough to defend. As we see Ling run by towards this 3rd base once more, is going to start breaking on through. And Snute, with these consistent counterattacks, is really getting damage done, and the Swarm Host play is continuing to work out for him. I mean, Welmu is taking a lot of damage down here. The DTs warp in to defend. But Snute setting up a base to the top right, still only on 3 bases for now. Trying to set up into 4th base once more as we see the +2 melee upgrades coming into play. I mean, he has been limited on bases, but the fights he's been taking has been so one-sided. Look at that, 16.2k to the 10k lost resources. I mean, that just gives you kind of the story as to how this has been going, as we see Stalker's going to blink away before the Locusts come into place. This is a bit awkward now. Snute, then Locusts popping, but not really going to be able to connect on anything in the immediate future. As they are going to move forwards, though. They are going to drop down in towards this pylon and in towards this base. They're going to start picking away at those couple of pylons, and well, they get a couple of probe kills as well. Not too much damage done, though, as we see the Stalkers, Immortals, and the Archons moving up through the center to try and continue getting some further damage done. And Stalkers will blink forwards here and just look to see what they can do. Infested will threaten the fungal growth. Swarm Hosts have another 10 seconds or so until they are off cooldown, ready to pop more Locusts. As this army from Welmu is still scary if them Locusts aren't part of this. We see a couple of Infestors with fungal growth energy ready to go, and it is going to be those Fungals, which will again probably be a scary part of this. As you see the Locusts starting to go up in the skies, and well, again, Fungals will be trying to keep these units in position, and when they catch an Immortal there, the Ling's coming forward, is actually fighting against these Archons. Locusts continue to do a lot of damage to them. The Archons disappearing very quickly. Nice little lift up there to keep one of the Archons alive by the Warp Prism. Good little piece of microwave by Welmu. As we're going to see those Locusts disappearing once more. 7 more Ravagers coming up into play now. We're going to see some Stalkers coming in from the left-hand side. They pick up the Locust Swarm Host there pretty swiftly, as we're going to see a Fungal Growth dropping down. Wow! Big Fungal Growth does pull away in time to get away from the Biles, though. As, I mean, Welmu's army is still trying to contest this, but so many Ravagers, and well, there's them Swarm Hosts starting to come into play again. Again, only actually using the Locust on a few of these. Actually, as these links around, there might not be a way out of this fight for this army anymore from Welmu. Doesn't even try to blink away at the end here. Maybe it's on cooldown. Probably is, I suppose. But either way, Welmu loses so much, and well, we'll just see kind of Lingers running in. Will be turned away by an Overcharge and a Dark Templar. I mean, Welmu's still just kind of pinned back on his 4th base. Snute continuing to expand to this top right. He's got this base, so he's got 5 bases. He's been trading way more efficiently. Warp Prism up here isn't doing too much just yet, as we see Locust dropping down and just picking their way through a few of these probes. I say a few, I mean that's already 14, 15, 16 workers going down, 17 workers killed. The Swarm Hosts from Snute continuing to be worth their weight in gold. I mean, do you see many kills on these Swarm Hosts? 7 on one of them, 3, 12, 7. Now these are pretty effective Swarm Hosts. I think we can all agree on that much at least. As you see the Warp Prism is being turned away, the Spine Crawlers too much to defend here for Welmu to really break on through with just a few Warpins. Welmu tries to expand to the bottom right, but this is going to be the issue. How does he ever continuously defend against Lings with Adrenal Glands in this game towards the bottom right hand side? It's really not going to be happening. As you see another wave of Locusts coming in, and that's the point where Welmu just says GG. Let's introduce us into game number 3 as to the top left hand side of Alrena. is going to be our blue Zerg player from Team Liquid. Let's see it, guys. It is Snute. In the bottom left, our red pros player from ENCE Esports is, of course, Welmu. Taking game 1 was looking good in game 2. But, took down that 4th base to Snute, hadn't, pinned back on 3 bases. But Snute made it work out in the end. Swarm hosts, they worked. I mean, there's not much more to say other than that. They did. They very much did just work in that game. As we see, Snute forced into the pool first here because of this pro blocking, which is a little bit of a shame. Probably be forced into the gas as well. As we see, drone actually might get a probe kill. Eventually does get the hatchery down. Doesn't actually put a gas down yet. So Snute no gas so far here on Overrainer. Interesting to see how he plays this one now. He will take a gas eventually. So we'll see how quick third bases come down from both players here on one of the more aggressive maps. We'll see if either choose to go for that sort of all-in aggressive sort of playstyle, which you can really kind of do super effectively on this map as well. Remember. We're going to be seeing this probe just coming back home, and it actually comes back towards the watchtower. So it probably wants to try and check to see if this third base is coming down at all. First of all, Zerglin's coming across the map here, of course. He kind of forced this upon himself by going for that early, blocking, by forcing the early pull, by blocking the expansion. And we're going to see a couple of pylons here. This is actually quite smart from Welmu, just blocking these so that you can keep this pylon alive over here until Mothership Core / Adept or whatever comes out. We're just going to be seeing the second pylon here will be cancelled too by Welmu, so only 50 minerals lost instead of a complete pylon. So that's actually very smart to kind of keep these extra kind of buildings alive over here. So that's actually very well played by Welmu so far. And we're just going to be seeing the third hatchery come down from the Snute. So no messing around. Link speed will start. And he's continuing to mine gas as well. We'll see what that's for over the next couple of minutes as well, of course. Whether it's just pneumatized carapace, whether it's something a little bit different. Overlord still just sat nearby. And ready to scout that main base in the very near future. Twilight Council comes in from Welmu. So probably going back into this Resonating Glaive sort of playstyle build order. And we'll see how Snute tries to deal with it this time around. As the first 2 adepts already coming across the map. Snute currently has only 4 Zerglings. So we'll be very reliant on the Queen base defense against these first couple of adepts. As they start to move forwards into the natural, there'll already be 1 and 2 workers going down. And he might just stick around in the natural, I was going to say, to kind of pick up more workers there. But he sees there's also nothing in the main base, so we're going to pick up some workers here too. And he kites away so that he doesn't get surrounded like he did in one of the previous games. And that's just going to allow him to stick around a bit longer, and he's going to get 6 and now 7 workers killed. 1 adept goes down, the other adept will keep on working though. That's 8 kills now. Snute is actually just taking so much damage. Right at the start of this game, we're talking about him being kind of 8, he's actually just lost 10 workers. I mean, that is a huge amount of damage to just the first 2 adepts of the game. So Snute is immediately going to find himself in a little bit of a difficult position where he is, he's just in a tough spot. I mean, there's no 2 ways to say it. Losing 10 workers to 2 adepts, 4 minutes in the game is, at this sort of level, unacceptable, you know? It really is just too much damage being taken. So Snute, not off to the best of starts here, as we see that road run just over halfway done. We're going to see the robot facility has started up and when we're back at home as well. That Resonating Glaive also just over halfway done, so continue to set up into this as we do see a Queen just coming out. I mean, Snoot's up on 3 bases, still behind in drones though, 4 workers behind currently. As we see the robot facility, Resonating Glaive. So I guess the question becomes, does Snute has enough to hold off the next attack? Because Welmu's not going to give this up, considering he's going into Resonating Glaives, he's going to continue to attack and attack and attack. So that's the problem for Snute. He's never going to really get a chance to kind of drone up in this game because he has to make units to defend now. He's once again down 10 workers, so he's also supposed to start up spores in each base to make sure he's safe from Dark Templar and so on. A couple of lings around the right hand side, just scouting here, trying to pick up information as to what this is going to be. Welmu with 3rd base on the way. But there's them adepts coming across, and well, yeah, I think Snute definitely has made enough roaches to defend this, but then the issue becomes, the fact that he's already behind in workers, so Welmu doesn't even really need to do damage with these adepts. He's going to start shading them through. They're going to go for the main base, and they might actually get there if they wanted to, but they're going to cancel, just keep the adepts alive, use them a little bit later on. Just see adepts just continuing to trade. Yeah, a little bit of damage being done there. I'm just going to see the shade back down towards the bottom left hand side. Mothership Core just sat overhead as a couple more pylons come down once again, and, well, just sort of looking to see that defend. Warpers are not going to do very much either. So Welmu definitely off to a good start in this game, number 3. Again, this is the WCS Challenger League. Loses round 5, if I'm not mistaken. The winner of this plays against Sort of in the final best of the 5 of the night. That will be the losers bracket final. Winner of that goes to DreamHack Montreal. Of course, this isn't the only chance for players to kind of qualify for DreamHack Montreal, the WCS Summer Championship. There is the fact that you can qualify through the server qualifiers, but it's just nice to already be qualified then. I mean, someone like Snute, I believe, is already qualified from WCS points, so it's not too much of an issue for him. Of course, it's nice for him to play well in the Challenger League, a few extra WCS points or something, and a little bit of extra cash as well for each series he wins. So, yeah, just going to be seeing a Curse Sentry, and the Stalker just warping in here from Welmu, as we see. He's just going to go for a very aggressive attack. I really like this, just going for like a gateway base with an Immortal Army. Just because of the fact that he did so much damage early, it's very hard for Snute to be prepared to deal with an aggressive attack like this. And so, we see him already trained very well, especially thanks to these force fields coming across the natural ramp there. And Dep's going to shade forwards as Welmu backs off momentarily there, going to move forwards once again. We're going to see Ravager taking a little bit of damage to begin with. Just going to see a single Spore Crawler. Moving forwards just a little bit. I see Warpers moving to the left hand side is going to be going in towards the main base in the near future as well. 6 Roaches continue to come up. Infestation Pit on the way for the Snute as well. So, I mean, Snute took a little bit of damage to that attack but didn't die, so that's the most important thing for him, so he'll stay alive for a bit longer here. I mean, he's still down in workers. I mean, can he do Swarm Hosts again or something crazy to kind of bring him back? That's what he did last time. He was a bit behind after losing the 4th base, not trading so well early on. And then Swarm Hosts happened. I don't think you'll go Swarm Hosts on this map. It's not really laid out in such a way that you can utilize the Swarm Hosts on effectively. Going into +1 missiles attack right now. I mean, what can he go into? I mean, he's got an Infestation Pit, so he's going into some kind of further attack. Might very well just be them Infested to kind of play a Ravager Infested sort of combos. And something which could definitely be very effective. As he, once again, though, Welmu is out in the center. And he's actually pushing forwards once more. No Observer to clean up any of the creep spread, but he's immediately going to move forwards here, and he's just going to come right on in. And I see a couple of force fields coming down, and a lot of these units getting kind of caught off guard. Queen and a Ravager over here going to go down. Well, a Ravager that was morphing. And you just see Snute going to have difficulty kind of really fighting in towards this army if the force fields continue to come down. Well, that being said, no force fields available just yet, so Snute can push in now a little bit more safely than previously, as we see Welmu just kiting away from those. Corrosive bars has to dodge away from those. Snute knows he's in a lot of trouble, though. He knows that these Ravagers are fairly weak if they're just on their own, and so he's already pulling his drones forwards. I mean, Welmu is actually pulling back away from this, just making sure, just playing it safe, really. I mean, no point kind of taking damage from the drones if you can kite away and do damage while you kite backwards. You can see them drones still off the line. I mean, Snute ready to pull them in once again. It's exactly what's going to happen. Pulling them in once more. There's a couple of time warps come up, and the Stalkers and Mortals, I mean, keep on trading against these drones. The drones continue to take so much damage. As you see, those Roaches and Ravagers going to be, well, continue to just go down. I mean, there's just too much here from Welmu. He took a very early lead in this game, and he just played it out very, I like the way he played it out, this kind of aggressive sort of gateway-based army with a few Mortals mixed in. Nothing fancy, straight up. So, let's see if he does something like that again. I mean, so much potential here as we go into Invader. Again, obviously, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, just in general. Thank you for joining us. We're approaching the 2,000 viewer mark, which is pretty insane. So, hope you all, again, having a good day, enjoying the games, and hope your weekend's been going well so far as well. Hope you're enjoying the StarCraft you've got to go along with it. Plenty of StarCraft this weekend, obviously, with the WCS Challenger League. There's Uthermal versus Stefano in a show match early on Base Trade TV as well. There'll be Go for SC2 tomorrow, which we'll be covering. There'll be my new talk show tomorrow as well, which I suggest you tune into because I think it's going to be fun. And, yeah, so check all that out as we go into the next game right now. Let's do this. Down a game to the bottom right-hand side is going to be our Blue Zerg player. Guys, time to channel him some of your energy if you're cheering him on, if you want to see him winning this and tying up this series. It's the best time to do it before he loses the series. Let's do it. Let's cheer for him right now. It is the blue player, Liquid Snute. Here to the bottom right side of Invader. Quite a lot of cheers coming in for this guy to the top right. And he's going to be the red Protoss player from NC Sports, Welmu. And he's being cheered on the chat by multiple people. Hard Revenge, Mexicaus. Sorry, I mispronounced your name. No, says Algras Music. A little bit sad about Snute falling off here a little bit. It's an interesting one. I mean, Welmu sort of, in the last couple of months, really been practicing hard, really been playing well, and it's really starting to show off here in the WCS Challenger League. As we see the probes just on the way out, slowly saturating this gas. He'll once again be taking his expansion on the low ground fairly soon. Hatch gas pool from Snute. Again, I mean, you look at this and there's not really a lot to sort of shout about, I mean, or kind of laugh about, or kind of mention. I mean, it's just straight up standard stuff here on Invader vertical spawns. I mean, Invader, this map where I mean, vertical spawns, it's kind of very aggressive, right? Because in a way it's kind of less run-bys than the kind of horizontal spawns, but you're just straight up attacks are going to hit so much sooner. They've got so much more potential, just, you know, hitting straight up or straight down the map. Nothing to really stop them, and very hard to slow them down, because they can, especially if they kind of come around this right-hand side, it's very hard to like surround them or anything. They've got a lot of kind of choke points to work with. You know, in terms of Protoss army, I mean, the same thing, you know, can happen on the Zerg side of things, though. You can be very aggressive very quickly, and it can also work out very nicely for them. So we'll see what Snute wants to do here. Continuing to just mine away a little bit of gas. We're going to see the spawn pool. Continuing to research. 27 seconds of the way done on that incredible boost research already. Snute going to pop down his third base as well, so no surprises from him yet. But that is a fast robo facility out of Welmu. We've been seeing a mixture of builds from him so far today, a mixture of Resonating Glaives and Stargate builds. This is going to be a robo opening, which is most likely going to lead into one or two things: a fast Warp Prism play and just general harassment while, you know, setting up into the game. Alternatively, because these are close spawns, close by ground spawns, we could see a very fast Immortal or two, and we could just see a big Immortal all in very quickly off of two bases here. Now, based on the position of the rally point here, I would imagine this is going to be an Immortal out of Welmu very early in the game. Snute, though, goes for Pneumatized Carapace, so you will get the scouting information for this early, and so you will be able to begin setting up early as well. He actually goes Warp Prism first, okay. He might still go Immortals afterwards then, and just get the Warp Prism first to start harassing a little bit. Oh, the Robo Bay, oh! Well, this build didn't actually come into my mind at all when I saw this Robo facility. It's one of these builds which isn't kind of a, you know, it's not uncommon. It's fairly uncommon nowadays, but it's not unheard of, where you're going to go for the Disruptor drops. I love it. It's actually my favourite build now to cast, because it's actually really exciting from start to finish. You've got lots of Disruptor shots happening, lots of action. And you can see right here, Snoot's going to spot that Robo Base straight away, so he's going to immediately know what this build is going to be. Sees the Warp Prism as well, so he's very happy knowing what's going on here early. Going to be a few Adepts moving across the map to begin with, and harassing, and then that Warp Prism will come back home. Oh, not for the Disruptor, because it's actually an Immortal starting up. I wonder if he's just Immortal to kind of just start up and just kind of build something while the Robo Bay was finishing. Bit weird though, because it does delay the first Disruptor for a while. I guess he's got to wait for the Warp Prism to come back anyway. We'll see if the Gravitic Drive upgrade comes in, because that's something we often do see with kind of the Disruptor playstyle. Because these first two Adepts not doing very much at all. There's that Immortal just finishing up. Oh, wow. Okay, well, you know what, then I'm just going to stop trying to predict in this game, because you know what, Colossi is just something which is, which I wouldn't even begin to imagine you'd use. Earlier, we started to see a few Colossi playstyles coming in, kind of in the mid-games and stuff. We saw it a little bit out of Strange yesterday against Snute, actually. But it wasn't very successful. But to go into 2-base Colossus is pretty intense. I wonder if this just, I mean, it must just be a 2-base all-in, right? Fire Extricates on the way up, second Robo. He's just going to make like 3 or 4 Colossi, and he's just going to attack and just hope Snute is not prepared to deal with that splash damage. This is really, really crazy by Welmu. Really cracking out something very sort of unique, something we really don't see at all in this matchup, to try and take down Snute here. So this is where things are going to say. He really wants to go to that losers bracket final. He's one map away. Here on Invader, feels as though it's time to crack out this bit of a, again, just a wacky build, really. Single Stalker will warp in off this Warp Prism and will start to work his way against that Overlord. We'll be able to get rid of that, so it's just those Pneumatized Carapace. You can come in maybe for another scat if you'd want to, but I mean, it's still very I mean, I just don't think Snute at all will probably think of Colossi coming in towards him, but we'll see. I mean, a few Ravages on the way, and he's got Roach Speed on the way up. He's actually making a lot of links right now. For 62 workers, he sees still no third base, and so he's going to begin assuming some kind of two-base aggression, I imagine. So he realizes off of, 62 workers, he doesn't need more workers than that if he's just against a two-base player. So not going to commit any further. I was just going to be seeing a few more Spine Crawlers starting up. Third Nexus has been dropped down as well from Welmu. And a couple of pylons as well, so to continue to set that up. As we see this Warp Prism going to be just pulling back a little bit. Welmu just pulling this back, and well, he is starting up a third base. I'm still amazed if he doesn't just attack and all in with this, then I don't even know what I really just do not know what to think, because what can I say? Like, Colossi? I have absolutely no idea. I really do not. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, Snoot's making so many lings that they're just going to melt the Colossi, surely. Like, it's actually a really kind of tough scenario because Snute just hasn't scouted again since his initial scout of this. He hasn't been back here. He hasn't seen the Colossi hide, and he hasn't seen the second Robo. Now the Colossi are going to join up together, and well, the question becomes, when does Welmu decide to attack in this game? Because I feel whenever he does decide to attack, he's going to have a pretty good time. He sees the links to the right-hand side again. And as these links move forward, now he's going to see the Colossi. He has actually just started up a Spire, which is something he might have been doing already just as a response to sort of non-Stargate-based opening. And I guess the Spire is something that definitely can help him out against the Colossi, of course, but at the same time, it's just too late, you know? I mean, Balins are going to start morphing in. He's got more Roaches on the way up. Snute has a supply lead here, but he just doesn't have anywhere near as much tech as what Welmu is playing with right now. So he's Colossi going to try and pick away a Spine Crawler to begin with. A couple of transfusions to buy some time. Queen's coming in for that 8 range. Will target the Colossi. I'm just going to be seeing the Ravages as well. Just they've got to be a little bit cautious. Snute trying to find the correct way to engage into this, and here we go. Going to have them Balins coming forwards, and actually will crash into a lot. Well, that's the sort of fight which Snute needs if he wants to take down these Colossi, because now he's actually going to close in on these Colossi very quickly, and so Welmu's just going to start losing them. Force Fields did not hit the spot there, and that allows Snute to come on through, and he is going to pick off everything here. All the Colossi go down apart from one, which was in the Warp Prism, and that is a disaster for Welmu. I was really worried for Snute, I really was, but Welmu completely messed up that engagement, didn't keep his Colossi safe, allowed the Roaches and Ravages to get around them, and they go down so quickly when they get targeted. Now another one going to go down, I think right here, Welmu just going to lose that third base, and boom, GG, we are off and away into an ace. Set players, because I mean, it could go any which way. These players are playing very well, and we've seen a lot of great games already. That last game was probably the most underwhelming game so far of this series. Welmu's attack just did not work at all, was very one-sided towards Snute there. As we see, it is Snute at the blue Zerg plate to the bottom left-hand side here of Dusk Towers. Playing for Team Liquid, as we all know. And to the upper right, our Red Protoss player is going to be from ENCE Esports Welmu. Losing that last game of the Colossi, the attempt to play with the Colossi there just didn't work at all. It was it was like the opposite of like working. I don't know. It just didn't work out. So we're gonna be setting up here into this next coming in the natural expansion. We're gonna be seeing the Cyber Core on the way up over here. Very standard stuff to kick us off into this. As we just, I mean, it's just towers. So out of all the maps we've seen so far, this is the map we're expecting to probably go a little bit longer, to go into the later stages of the game, to go into that sort of point where we see these guys sort of going up against each other and really kind of taking it late game and really going toe to toe, really kind of showing us some really great PvZ. At least I'm hoping, as we get ready to jump into this game. Wait for this to get rolling. Obviously we're in game, but I mean for PvZ it's going to be a few minutes until anything super exciting really happens. We'll see what the tech's going to be from Welmu. Most likely a Stargate play. Go back to that, something which worked out very nicely for him earlier, and there is that Stargate coming down. I mean, it's just a large macro map, hard to really do damage, hard to rush across the map, and it's a large map, so get across there slowly. So, Stargate is Stargate just going to be kind of coming down. It's just the better way to play, just nice, fast, mobile units to give you some map control in this nice large map, where map control can become very important. drone going to stay alive right now as he just pops the extractor down. Yeah, it's been a mixture of games so far in this series. The first game on Frozen Temple was actually very back and forth. Went the way of Welmu in the end. Game number 2 was Snute with the Swarm hosts on Frost. Game 3 he then lost on Lorraine after just falling very far behind at the start. And well, game 4 was Invader, which was not really much to talk about there. So the last couple of games just kind of being major mistakes on either side, on players from either side, and hence the other player winning quite easily. But the first 2 games were very back and forth and very interesting to sort of see play out. So hoping for something like that once again, as we do see this overall just in towards the main. Just Snute having a little bit of a scout around. Is not investing into that pneumatized carapace, so just going to be going for kind of the slow overlord scouting here. We'll be popping in. Phoenix pops out as well to start working his way again, so that overlord is going to be going down over the next few moments. Can't do much about it. It's seen the Stargate, not much else to see. And we'll just accept that this is the way it's going to die. There's absolutely no way for this to escape now, so overlord will fall. See a Forge on the way down from Welmu down towards the 3rd base. The Nexus is on the way up as well, just over halfway done currently. So Nexus just over halfway done. And there's that Forge. Just going to be finishing up very soon as well, as we see these Zerglings. Well, they're just going to jump in towards the 3rd base. Phone overcharge comes down and going to be turning those units away. Lots of cheers coming into the chat from Snute when we introduced him a couple of minutes ago. Obviously, a bit of a stream delay, but lots of cheers coming in from Avex. How you doing, buddy, as well? Greasy Pix goes Snute. Lots of people cheering on Snute, actually. And shout out to Befriber as well for the 3-minute free sub. Dude, I'm sorry I didn't get to reply to your email the other day, but I'll get back to you the next couple of days. If you send me another reminder email, I was very ill, so I wasn't really in the mindset to kind of reply to stuff. As you see, +1 on the way up here from Welmu. We're going to see the Oracle is on the way up as well, going to be finishing very soon. And as we see the Phoenix from Welmu just continue to move around, continue to see sort of what's going on and just see what's happening. You see the Oracle going to come in after these Phoenix, which is interesting actually. You go Oracle after the Phoenix. Something you don't see all the time. The Oracle, I mean, the Smoke Wall is already going to be up, so the Oracle not going to do too much, but very nice to kind of drop Revelations and so, of course. So we'll see how that turns out, as we're going to be having the Zerglings just continue to look in towards the 3rd base. Fourth Hatchery coming in for Stu. Going to be finishing up here, so 4th Hatchery finishes for him. We'll see a Queen being added on, and we're just going to be seeing the lair finishing. The Baylor Nest also about to finish as well, so just continuing to set up into what looks to be Hydra Bane once more. Hydra's Den coming on down. Twilight Castle gets taken, so just Twilight Robo follow up. 3rd base already up for Welmu. I mean, it's very, very standard PvZ, just very passive with the kind of just early kind of Phoenix Oracle as kind of the opening. But other than that, it's yeah, other than that, it's been very kind of passive. That Oracle does actually pick up 7 workers here, which is nice. So that Oracle actually does end up paying for itself. It's still interesting. The 3 Phoenix and an Oracle, just like a mix of both. Very, very interesting. We'll put some position at the top left-hand side, waiting to see what that can get up to, as we'll see the Temple Archives on the way down. Now, Welmu, what's he already seen? Well, he hasn't seen the lair. He hasn't seen anything, really, so hasn't seen very much. And without seeing very much, it'll be interesting if he's already going to go into Storm and so on to begin. Maybe just knows how Snute plays on this map, and so he's going to try and maybe kind of blind counter him a little bit of kind of going into Fast Storm. Already head into this. So actually, it's kind of, I think one of the things that's really interesting to see in this series is that so many of these games between Snute and Welmu have gone very similarly from both players as the kind of matches that we saw between Snute and Petit Drogo, because Drogo on this map also went, I believe it was a Stargate based opening, he actually went up to 8 Phoenix, so it's a very different build from Drogo, but he also went into the Fast Storm still, so some similarities there, and it is interesting as we see if Welmu will be able to make something happen with that Storm this time around. Obviously Petit Drogo wasn't able to make it work against Snute back on Just Towers. That was the first game of their series, as we see the Warpism just lifting up a few zealots, and they're going to go towards the top left. And of course get ready to try and come in, try and deny some of these bases around the map, try and deny some of that Snute economy from being set up. 4 base on the way up from Welmu at the same time. Snute, no immediate kind of need to kind of attack forwards, it would seem. He has got muscular augments on the Hydra. He's already putting down that Lurker Den, which I love, getting ready to transition out of this Hydra Bane. Something he's actually not really looked to do kind of a lot this series. He's for a lot of the series kind of been without kind of the intention of transitioning and You know, for multiple reasons, because he's not, you know, because he's been a bit behind, because he's not had the money to, and all sorts of stuff like that. Be interesting as we see this group of Phoenix still setting up to go in towards the main base. And we'll go in and start lifting up just a drone or two. As you're going to see that Warp Prism again just sat to the top left hand side. As you see the Zerglings going to collect together. There's then Banelin's going to start morphing in. Snute a little bit more conservative where he morphs in the Banelins this time around. Last time on Dust Towers, I think he caught like 20 of them cancelled by a storm, if not more. As we're going to be seeing Hydra's join up as well. And so here we go. Snute maxed out, ready to fight. And to see some extra pylons on the way down. Extra cannons actually on the way down to try and help Welmu defend this sort of position. Mothership Core positioned at the front as well. As we'll see, Warpison play on the other side of the map. So only get quite a lot done. Drones actually being pulled against this. Snute's just going to have to use reinforcements to deal with this, because there's no way he's going to be able to defend this just with those drones. We're going to see the Zerglings trying to come in. He's actually going to send back Lings and Hydras to defend this. So in the end, Snute probably can't really afford to attack in here. And he just sent back so many of the Hydralisks. There's absolutely no way. I think Snute realizes this. So actually this Warpison play really nice out of Welmu, because he's actually denying Snute the ability to engage as he wanted to at the timing he wanted to engage at. So this has worked out really well for Welmu. Forced some lost mining time, a few workers killed, but again, most importantly, forces so much of this army from Snute back home. And so now Welmu has just a little bit of extra time to prepare against this, to set up his army against these Banelins. Nice network on the way down, and we're just going to be seeing the kind of the later game scenarios starting to arise here. We're going to start looking for ways to harass around the map, most likely, and just keep his opponent busy, keep his opponent kind of moving around. So we're going to see the few Hydras coming in towards the top of the 4th base. Definitely have some potential there, but a couple of cannons in position. If the Phoenix are there for high ground vision, it'll be completely fine anyway. Actually, going to be a lurker coming in there as well. That's going to burrow before actually when we can do anything about it. So actually, we see a fueler. I assume there's going to be a fueler, because not just that single one, which is now taken down. There's one more. It's still up on this high ground here, so not too many lurkers just yet. Snute is going to begin committing forwards over to his right hand side. We're starting to do a little bit of damage, picking off an Immortal there already, and well, the Banelins, they want to try and come in and connect. Nice couple of storms, going to get rid of a lot of them. A few sentries go down in the center of this, but for the most part, I think Welmu was very well split up, and he's got a lot of Charge Rod and Immortal Archon left over here. Too much for Snute to realistically attack into at all in the next couple of moments. As we see those units continue back away. Another couple of Phoenix just lifting up. A Hydralisk or two. Spire and the Hive on the way up now from Snute as well. So continue to set up into this. As you see these Hydras continuing to attack in the center of the map. We're going to see a couple of Zealots. Going to think about charging forwards perhaps here as well. We're going to see that Mortal's going to go down. So Mortal will fall. We're going to see the Lings and Hydras. They will push forwards, and well, I mean, Snute's trying to hold on against this army, but he doesn't really look as though he's got enough right here. I mean, he didn't hit his initial Hydra Bane timing, and because of that, it looks as though he's just never going to be able to kind of really get himself a foothold in this game. The Nidus came up, but hasn't actually ended up doing anything as we hit a giant lag spike. A mill! Wow. How long has it been since we saw a mill lag out? It actually is a mill for once. Crazy. Be resuming this in a moment or two, guys, but Snute is definitely in a little bit of a tough position here. Right at the end of this game, he is already being attacked. His opponent has Warp Prism units to the top left, some Zealots or something attacking this base. I mean, this game is pretty much over, and so we're going to complete the PvZ saga. It's going to be 4 PvZs in a row. As Welmu wins this, he goes up against Sortov in the loser bracket final. And so our final matchup of the day, our final best of 5 of the day, is going to be a PvZ. As you see Miller just slowly ticking away there. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And kaboom. He will drop. And we will see Welmu continue his attack in to finish this up, as we're going to see Welmu continue to push on forwards, and we're going to see the Zealots continue to attack up to the top left hand side. Snute just taking so much damage, and there's just no real way he can fight against this. He's trying to go into like a Hive and a Spire for kind of a transition, and he just doesn't have anything. He has no lurkers. He's pulling drones in. Looks as though Welmu is going to go into the losers bracket final. And he will play against Sortov there again in that final